Boyfriend's female best friend tried to sabotage our relationship. I let her lie until she exposed herself, bit of a long one, but worth the read. I tried to sum it up as best as I could. My boyfriend, male 36 and I, female 30, had been together for almost a year when this happened. Our relationship was genuinely good. We got along well, laughed a lot, and didn't really fight over stupid things. The only issue was one female friend of his, Tammy, female 30. To this day, I still don't fully know what her motivation was. My guess is that she didn't like that he was serious about someone else. She was also still friends with his ex, so I've always suspected she was trying to sabotage us on purpose. They were roommates along with his ex-girlfriend. His ex had cheated on him, so she had moved out and moved provinces. It was really obvious she still wanted another chance, but he wasn't interested. They had been broken up for 6 to 8 months before we started seeing each other. The weird part is that Tammy and I actually became close. I liked her, which is probably why I ignored my gut instinct for so long. Whenever it was just the two of us, she'd tell me things my boyfriend supposedly said, like, "I don't think he's over his ex, he told me that." Just little comments that planted insecurity in my head. Around the same time, my boyfriend started acting differently toward me, and our relationship suddenly had trust issues. One time, Tammy got annoyed because he didn't want to stay out drinking with her, and instead wanted to come home and hang out with me. I thought that was weird, but I brushed it off. Things grew tense between my friend group and theirs. My friends had said they didn't like her, and that I should talk to my BF about some of the things she was saying, but I didn't want to be one of those controlling people who told their partner they couldn't be friends with girls, and I was genuinely trying to fit into his group. This abruptly came to an end. One night he went out drinking with Tammy. At some point, I blacked out completely. I barely remember anything. I remember Tammy driving, and I remember some guy she said she knew being around. The next thing I remember is waking up in my own apartment, in my own bed, next to that guy, with Tammy walking into the room angry. Before anyone jumps to conclusions, we were both fully clothed and on top of the covers. Not that it excuses anything at all, but pause before you jump down my throat. The guy, I'll call him Peter, told me I had been really sick, throwing up, and that Tammy had basically ditched him there with me. He said he was too drunk to drive, and she was also really drunk, and should not have been driving. He didn't want to leave me alone because I was in bad shape. I am also a type 1 diabetic, and he knew that, so he said he stayed because he was genuinely worried about me. I told him he probably should have called an ambulance, but I was thankful to have not been left alone, and upset that my friend put me in a terrible situation where so many things could have gone wrong. After he left, I was so sick that I ended up going to the hospital. I tried multiple times calling my boyfriend, who didn't answer the phone. I then checked my call logs, and I had also called him a few times last night, but he was likely sleeping. It also took me forever to even find my phone, and it was in a really weird place in a drawer, and after reflecting over several days, I've come to the conclusion that she likely hid it on purpose. When I got home, my boyfriend had put all my stuff outside my door and blocked me on everything. Eventually, I got a hold of him and told him I genuinely felt like I had been drugged and had no clue what happened that night. Tammy had already told him that I was all over Peter and that I slept with him. Neither of those things happened. I was furious. I then knew that she had obviously set me up, perhaps even roofied me. I just couldn't prove it. So I started piecing the whole night together. I went back to the bar and talked to the bartender, who I knew. I asked what she saw, who I talked to, everything. Then I talked to Peter, who confirmed nothing happened between us. He told me Tammy was acting weird all night, and when I started throwing up, she basically left me there with him, a man I didn't know. He stayed because he didn't he know if he should call an ambulance, and didn't he want to leave me alone. Apparently, Tammy came back later to check on me, which also meant she drove home drunk, and then drove back drunk. So she left then came back, right? I also got perspectives from other people who had been there that night. The more people I talked to, the less Tammy's version made sense. Meanwhile, Tammy was telling me a different story and insisting she had only told my boyfriend that she saw Peter and me in bed together and wasn't going to lie to him. My boyfriend broke up with me anyway, and I get, the situation sucks, and he's going to believe his best friend of several years over me. At that point, I decided that even if we never got back together, I was not going to let this girl ruin my reputation and walk away clean. So I pretended everything was fine. I stayed friendly with Tammy and acted normal because I wanted her to get comfortable and keep talking. Eventually, I convinced my boyfriend to give us another shot. We started talking and hanging out again. The second that happened, Tammy started acting weird. The first day I went over there,